Your News Now.
Your News Now at 5 o'clock. Investigators say they have a serial arsonist in jail right now. The number of fires this man is believed to be connected to. And caught on camera, the aftermath of a horrific chain reaction crash.
So of those that were transported and or being treated, 2 are listed in critical condition and 11 are serious but non-life-threatening.
69 vehicles were caught in this, what officials say likely caused the massive mess. Plus,
the water will literally throw you into hypothermia within minutes.
a big warning from first responders and fishers after a scary situation this weekend. How a family's day of sledding fun turned almost into a life-threatening incident for a 4-year-old. Appreciate you being with us here on CBS 4 this morning. Almost Christmas, just days away. Hopefully you're in town and enjoying your time on this Monday morning. Let's get right over to the Weather Authority. Big travel week, and Star, you're saying it looks pretty okay.
Really quiet, actually, Angela. Yeah, just a little bit on the cold side to start off the morning. We're at 28 degrees in Crawfordsville, 27 in Cicero, northwest side of Indianapolis, just a couple of degrees above freezing. I'd say for the early morning hours, you're still going to want your winter coat and your gloves. Certainly if you'll be driving, taking a few minutes for the cars to warm up this morning. But also grab your sunglasses when that officially rises in the next couple of hours. We'll have plenty of sunshine. Really nice afternoon again. We'll be well above the average. We're forecasting a high of 53 degrees. So it'll feel a lot like yesterday, and climate records show us that we should only be in the 30s this time of the year. So that 53 is going to feel fantastic. Nowhere close to the records that were in the 60s, but still very nice for the season. If you want to head over to the State Fairgrounds tonight, they do have the Christmas Nights of Lights going on, so check that out. You stay warm in your car, drive around for about 30 to 40 minutes and enjoy all those lights and the nice music. Live Guardian radar staying very quiet this morning. We are watching those clouds just off to the west filling in. Could give us some upper level clouds as we head into the morning, but that'll just mean a really pretty sunrise. So keeping an eye on that. Watching this rain to the south shouldn't be an issue for us. In fact, we're looking at quite a stretch here of dry weather before we do get to our next active weather system. I'll walk you through that coming up in a few minutes. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, good morning, Star. Right now it is 5:02 here, and we already have some activity here on our roads. One of those being a crash here. So this one was called in about 20 minutes ago. This is southbound I-65 right on the ramp there to County Line Road. So taking a look at that area, you can still see some activity there. And again, this is on the ramp. It's not impacting the actual main lanes of southbound 65. And it looks like you can still access that ramp. It's not fully blocked. Just something to certainly be aware of if you are headed that direction. Also taking a look in that same area, just a little bit more to the west there, a report of a fire. It's Red Oak Court at Beach Mill Lane. Also getting a look here at I-69 southbound, still very light volume there near State Road 37. Ange?
All right, Rachel, thank you. Happening today, we expect to learn more about a serial arsonist accused of setting up to 20 fires across the Wayne Township area. De'Aaron Gray is now in jail facing more than 15 charges in connection to that investigation. It all started in September. Police said someone set a fire on Ironton Street while firefighters put out another fire nearby in the Mars Hill community. You may remember us airing this video. The suspect, who officials just identified as Gray, was caught on surveillance video as a school bus was passing by. And that was just one incident. Detectives say they have other surveillance video showing Gray starting up to 8 other fires over a 3-month period. After that, officers said that he targeted both vacant and occupied homes. No one was hurt, but those fires caused about $100,000 in damages. Again, we do expect to hear more about the investigation later today. Wayne Township officials will hold a press conference at 10 o'clock this morning. New this hour, we've now learned 4 people are dead after this 2-vehicle crash in Adams County. Officers say a Toyota Camry entered State Road 124 after indicating an eastbound turn, but they say for some reason abruptly stopped and steered the vehicle north, entering the westbound lane. That's when it drove into the path of a Chevy truck. Officials say the crash ejected a backseat passenger. The driver of the Camry and 3 other passengers were pronounced dead at the scene. No one was wearing seatbelts. 5:04 your time now. A family on the Near East Side now pleading for help this morning after someone hit and killed their loved one and then just took off. Police are now calling this a death investigation. They responded to the alley between Tuxedo Street and North LaSalle, and that's where they say they found 35-year-old Amber Olvey dead at the scene. She was a mother of 2 kids. Her family members are now determined to find out who did this.
Careless. You know, no matter what you did wrong, just come forward so the family can rest at ease. Just come forward. What would you do if it was your family member? Wouldn't you want someone to speak up?
If you know anything about what happened, call Crime Stoppers right away. That number is 262-TIPS. Right now, prosecutors are looking to file 4 new charges against a Lafayette couple accused of abandoning their adopted daughter. Such a wild story here. Right now, Michael and Christine Barnett are facing 2 counts of neglect, but this newly proposed charge would make those charges felonies, meaning the couple could possibly face 6 to 20 years in prison if they're convicted. The couple is again accused of legally changing their adopted daughter's age and abandoning her at a Lafayette apartment when they moved to Canada. A hearing is set for next week. A scary couple of minutes in Fishers as firefighters work to rescue this 4-year-old girl from an icy pond. They said that she was sledding in a family member's backyard. They say that sled went too far and went into the iced over retention pond. Thankfully, the ice didn't break. That girl stayed on the sled. The family, though, they did the right thing. They didn't run out to save her, but rather they called 911. Firefighters responded and said they could hear that ice cracking and popping as they worked to get her off the ice. And they say if you or someone you know does fall through ice, don't go after them. Instead, call 911 instead. All right, a warning now for pet owners during the holidays. Officials at the Southside Animal Shelter say Peanut the cat swallowed the tip of a Nerf bullet, the things you put inside those play Nerf guns. They say at just 4 months old, that cat was vomiting, didn't eat, couldn't use the restroom because of the obstruction. Peanut required extensive surgery. She's still healing from it. They say, though, this right here should serve as a heads up. Keep an eye out as you give small toys to your kids. It's been more than a month since the Colts tasted victory. That game, remember, against Jacksonville? But let's be honest, right? It's been a struggle through 4 losses. They all ended our hope for the playoffs. The team, they vowed not to quit, and they proved that against this weekend's game in the Panthers. Here's JoJo Gentry.
All 3 phases finally came together in Week 15, ending the Colts' 4-game losing streak.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Great win, man. It's been a long time coming. It sure felt good. Complete win. We were really good in all 3 phases.
We always said all year long that if all 3 phases come out and don't beat ourselves, we can be one dangerous team, and you see that today.
A season that hasn't been the way we wanted to go to end the way this way at home in front of all of our fans is awesome.
Even though Pro Bowl guard Quentin Nelson went out with a concussion, missing his first action of the season, Marlon Mack was able to top the 1,000 yards rushing mark on the year.
Oh man, this is a crazy experience, man. I'm truly grateful for it, thankful for it. O-lineman pretty much got me there. The hose was amazing today, wide open, so truly grateful for it, thankful for them.
I ride to the stadium with him every morning, for the home games, and I talk to him about how many yards. I just happened to ask him how many yards was he away from 1,000. He told me like 81. I was like, yeah, you're going to get that today. And for him to get that was very special.
Defensive end Justin Houston is proving he's worth every bit of his 2-year, $24 million contract, coming up with his 10th sack of the season.
He's a savvy vet. He's excellent. He's a great role model. I watch him a lot, and he's always coaching me up in the meetings on the field and stuff like that. So, he's bringing him in helped a lot, and it's unbelievable. With
the playoffs out of the picture, the Colts will play their final game of the season next week in Jacksonville. A win means the Colts would finish 8-8. Reporting from Lucas Oil Stadium, I'm JoJo Gentry.
Despite their prayers, Notre Dame officials say they have no choice but to cancel Christmas Mass.
To think that I was ill last Christmas and I missed Christmas in Notre Dame, thinking that I would go again this year with no problem.
It's been a holiday tradition since 1803, what the historic church looks like today after that massive fire earlier this year. And Banksy has a new piece just in time for the holiday season, what the British street artist wants you to think about while you celebrate Christmas. Stay with us. Breaking now at 5:12, Saudi State TV saying the kingdom just sentenced 5 people to death. Each of those individuals reportedly connected to murdering columnist Jamal Khashoggi. The Indiana State graduate was killed after visiting the Saudi embassy in Turkey more than a year ago. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman took full responsibility for Khashoggi's death, but denied any personal involvement in the killing. Khashoggi graduated with a degree from Indiana State in 1983. Also breaking overnight, U.S. military officials saying an American service member was killed in action in Afghanistan. The Taliban claimed they were behind the roadside bombing that killed the U.S. soldier, but the U.S. military has not provided any further details. That death, it brings the number of U.S. fatalities in Afghanistan this year to 20 now. All right now, 5:12, a manhunt is underway in Baltimore after 7 people were shot there. Officers said a car pulled up to a hookah lounge that 2 men got out and opened fire on people that were just waiting in line. One used a handgun, the other a rifle, firing up to 19 rounds. 2 other people involved are believed to be a man and a woman, but police say they did not shoot anyone. Detectives recovered the car involved with this, but said it had been set on fire. Developing now, a story that has caught worldwide attention. A boy missing for 2 years has now been found alive in the closet of a child pornography suspect in West Germany. Police found that 15-year-old boy after they searched a 44-year-old man's home. That man is suspected of, again, distributing child porn. They said they just stumbled upon this boy. Right now, there's no indication that he was being held against his will. New this morning, British street artist Banksy brought a somber Christmas spirit into a hotel he founded in Bethlehem with a manger scene invoking the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. This is dubbed the Scar of Bethlehem. That display features a miniature Jesus, Mary, and Joseph under a shell-pocked rendition of Israel's concrete West Bank barrier. The mortar shell leaves a mark that resembles a guiding star. Graffitied on the wall are the words love and peace in both English and in French. All right, for the first time in more than 2 centuries, there's not going to be a Christmas Mass at the Notre Dame Cathedral. Church officials say they had no choice but to cancel Christmas Mass after last April's devastating fire. Notre Dame's rector says the church had services during World War I, World War II, that they only stopped services during the French Revolution. Since that fire earlier this year, Notre Dame's clergy, congregation, and fire have taken refuge at a nearby church.
For France, that this is like a symbol, but I think that in the same time, people are trying to reconstruct and give everything to rebuild it, and it's maybe the opportunity to go to other churches and to rebuild your faith.
The French government is optimistic, saying normal services will resume by 2025. On a lighter note, check this out. This was a baby race during a timeout in the Hornets-Celtics game in Boston. The babies wore lobster outfits because it was Maine Red Laws night. The parents used everything from toys, balloons, and snacks to get the babies to the finish line. All right, now let's go to a weather story making national headlines. You might know a lot about this. 69 cars ended up in a pileup in Virginia. Crazy situation here. This was on Sunday morning. The roads were extremely icy. There was a ton of fog that covered the interstate. It actually closed both sides of the interstate and caused a huge mess. And you can see the extent of the backup and damage, too, in the cell phone video. Officials say they don't know exactly what caused the initial crash, but fog and ice were probably factors. Star, quite the mess in a lot of places yesterday, too.
Definitely was, but we are going to get a little bit quieter now, especially back home. We're watching these temperatures sitting right along that freezing line, 32 degrees right now in Indianapolis with just the lightest breeze. So wind not going to play a huge factor today. That's certainly some good news, so we can enjoy these milder temperatures. Live Guardian radar staying very quiet, just watching on satellite as a few more upper level clouds do build in, keeping an eye on that. But all of this activity to our south, that's not going to be a problem for us. Continuing to rain a lot, though, in those southeastern states. That's going to push off into the ocean, though, within the next couple of days. Future view, I'm going to run you through about Sunday. Here, let's run through the rest of this week. Look at that, staying really quiet. And then as we head toward Friday night and into the weekend, we'll get more active, but not going to have any really wet weather here for the next few days. So we continue the meltdown of these snow piles, but really going to be a slow go. Here's lunchtime today, going to be watching some clouds from the north and west. west. Mainly overnight, we'll see some clouds fill in. Also could get some patchy fog as well. This time tomorrow morning, pretty quiet, just a few foggy spots. 32 degrees right now in Jamestown, 28 in Fishers. Cold start in Mooresville. You're at 30 degrees and just a couple of degrees below freezing in Franklin. You're at 27 right now, 30 in Bloomington and 33 in Spencer. Today's high is actually going to hit 53 degrees. Pretty nice, really above average. We should only be in the 30s this time of the year. Not going to be a record breaker. That record was actually in the 60s, not close to that, but still really nice. Quite a treat actually as we head into the week of Christmas. Tonight we are going to have a few spots of patchy fog. Definitely still going to be cold, but that's also very much above the average low, which is actually in the 20s. Tomorrow's high hitting 53 degrees, partly to mostly sunny there, just a little bit of a breeze. That'll be out of the south around 5 miles an hour. I'm writing chilly on there just because we will start off the day in the 30s, but by the afternoon very comfortable, only a jacket needed for the second half of our Christmas Eve. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Wednesday, looking really nice for Christmas. Remember how it snowed on Halloween? Well, we're going to have a high of 56 on Christmas Day. Go figure. Thursday, 55, still in the 50s on Friday. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll get a little bit more active, but temperatures not getting hurt too much, Rachel.
Hey, I'm not complaining about 50s. All right now it is 5:18 here. We do have an update and a good update here. So that earlier accident that I showed you last time you saw me that was on the ramp from southbound 65 at County Line Road has cleared away here. So just after you saw me last, they pulled everything away there. So it's been back in motion for at least about 10 minutes now. So looking good there. The only other activity we have is that other earlier fire there. It's in a residential area, Red Oak Court at Beach Mill Lane. So that's just a bit west there of US 31 and just south of Stop 11 Road. Also getting a quick look here at the North Split. Things are moving well right now. Very low volume still at this point, but if you are getting going on your holiday travel and you're headed to the airport from downtown, that'll take about 14 minutes. From Carmel, 28 minutes, and from Greenwood, 19 minutes. If you're driving, here's a look at some of the best gas prices in and around the city. So the lowest is the Thorntons there at Pendleton Pike near Shadeland Avenue, $2.35 a gallon. Also Fisher's Get Go at Olivia Way and Oleo Road, that is $2.39 a gallon. And your best price in Greenwood is the BP at US 31 and Wurtsville Road, $2.39 a gallon. Ange?
All right, it's a massive problem nationwide that Hoosier Charities are looking to fix.
We know that about 40% of the food that's produced in the United States winds up in the landfill, and we just can't tolerate that anymore.
This morning, CBS 4's Alexa Green shows you their local partnership that wants to slash waste and give it to Hoosiers that need it the most. Also this, an explosion in Speedway. A woman's car was damaged this weekend after something exploded above her. The people in jail and the charges they face this morning. Christmas just 2 days away, a lot of you are probably doing some last-minute grocery shopping. During the holidays, a lot of Hoosiers struggle to put food on the table. This morning, CBS 4's Alexa Green introduces you to a local partnership wanting to reduce food waste and give it to Hoosiers that really need it the most. Alexa?
Ever wonder what happens to all of that food at your local grocery store that isn't sold? Well, the majority of it is actually thrown out, but now some of it is being saved and going to fight hunger.
The holidays are supposed to be a joyful time, but for so many Hoosiers, just putting together a holiday meal is a struggle.
Hunger doesn't discriminate whatsoever, and so each community is a little bit different.
A challenge Kroger and Gleaners are trying to tackle by taking unsold yet usable food and giving it to the people who need it the most.
We are able to come in and pick up items that the store can no longer sell and then immediately distribute them back out to the community.
Each week, food banks like Gleaners and local pantries pick up a variety of produce, meat, baked goods, and dairy products at area Krogers that otherwise would have been tossed in the trash.
And to think that it might have wound up in a landfill otherwise, this is so much better.
Giving Hoosier families some peace of mind.
Knowing that, one, not only are we obviously rescuing food that otherwise would have been thrown away, but then we're actually using it for a good cause to help people that are in need at this time of the year.
By allowing them to focus on what the holidays are truly about.
If they can't feed their kids, that's an issue. If they can't have a present under the tree, they're trying to decide which can they do. Well, with Gleaners and our other food bank partners, we can help them do both.
All Kroger stores here in the Hoosier State are involved in this initiative. Each month, they send about 18,000 pounds of food to area food banks. If you want to learn more about this initiative or how you can get involved, you can head to our website. That's the latest in the newsroom. Alexa Green, CBS 4 News.
5:25 right now. Indianapolis Animal Care Services says it is completely out of room. They had to set up crates in the hallway for any other animals that come into the shelter. If you're looking to adopt a furry friend for the holidays, your fees will be waived if you donate from their Amazon wish list. And if you'd like to donate just to help out, you can do that as well. We have information online. CBS 4 right now looking for some remarkable women for our Woman of the Year award. We're really excited about this, you guys. We're going to pick 4 of Central Indiana's most remarkable women based on community contribution, self-achievement, and impact on families. One finalist will travel to New York and be on the Mel Robbins Show with other remarkable women from across America. Mel will announce the National Woman of the Year on her show. If you'd like to nominate a remarkable woman in your life, go to cbs4indy.com/contests. All nominations need to be in by December 31st. We have a lot more to come here on CBS 4 this morning. Right now, local wildlife officials on the hunt for whoever shot and killed a bald eagle. A word of warning, some of you might find this picture disturbing. It happened in Lawrence County. How much money officials are now offering for information related to the case? Stay with us.
And fire investigators arrest and charge a man they believe is responsible for a string of arsons. I'm Alexa Green. Coming up, the details of a months-long investigation and the charges he's now facing this morning.
And it is still a chilly start to the morning, so you'll want your winter coat. But by this afternoon, things feeling very comfortable again. We should make it into the low 50s, which is way above the average. Enjoy this and the next couple of days that are going to be pretty nice. We are tracking some wet weather, though, come the weekend, so I'll time that out for you in just a few minutes.
from CBS 4, this is your News Now.
Your news now at almost 5:30. 2 men are in jail and facing charges after a woman said something exploded above her car. What police say happened. And right now, a man is accused of setting several fires at a Jewish university. The item he used to start those fires that just adds insult to injury. And also, right now, elves at Riley Children's Hospital are hard at work.
We couldn't really do our job without it.
We have an exclusive look inside a special room at the Children's Hospital. Volunteers saying it provides a lifeline for patients at Riley. Appreciate you being with us here on CBS 4 this morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's get right over to the Weather Authority. Those temperatures cold, but we are now into winter.
Right, we are. Coat and gloves needed as you're walking out the door this morning, as many of us are pretty close to that freezing line. Sun going to rise in about 2.5 hours, and at that point you will definitely need your sunglasses. Look like a bright and sunny day. Highs going to climb into the low 50s, which is very much above the average, but right now we are still at 27 degrees in Cicero, 34 on the northwest side of Indianapolis, 26 in Crawfordsville. Shelbyville, good morning to you. You're waking up at 27 degrees, 30 right now in Bloomington, and 33 in Spencer. If you do want to maybe get some salt off of your car, you can absolutely do that this afternoon. Really nice afternoon expected. There's that high, 53 degrees, mainly sunny all the way through the day, and it's really not until overnight that we do start to build back in some clouds. Watching a few upper level clouds pushing in for today, but high pressure is in control, so we are not expecting any wet weather. All of the rain staying off to our south and east, and that's just going to slide to the east, so not going to be an issue for us. We are tracking some rain, not for a couple of days though. I'll walk you through that coming up in my full forecast. Rachel.
All right, thanks, Star. Right now it is 5:31 here. Things are still calm. This is a live look at our INDOT camera overlooking I-70 near High School Road. So if you're heading out towards the airport right now, no worries about any backups or anything like that to deal with here. We do, though, have one new accident just being called in a short time ago here. This is in the Broad Ripple area there, 54th and Winthrop Avenue. But as you can see, College Avenue still looking pretty good in that area. So you also have 52nd Street moving well. So you have plenty of different options there to avoid that. Still seeing activity though on the south side with this earlier residence fire that was reported at Red Oak Court. That is just a bit west there of US 31. Also getting a quick look here at how things are shaping up at 465 near Michigan Road there on the northwest side. As you can see, things beginning to wake up, but certainly not going to impact your drive time.
And I was like, what? Came to the door and there you are. The street's on fire.
It was a sight you had to see to believe. After weeks of investigating, fire officials now saying that man responsible for up to 20 fires in the Wayne Township community, they say he's finally in jail. Take a look. This man right here, 27-year-old De'Aaron Gray, is facing more than 15 charges. And in just a few hours, fire investigators are planning to provide new information about all of this. CBS 4's Alexa Green is in the Breaking Now Center with how this man was caught. The big question this morning, Alexa, why in the world he did this?
Yeah, that's a question we are hoping to learn from investigators, Angela, this morning. This investigation, though, started about 3 months ago. A majority of those crimes captured on surveillance camera. Take a look at your screen again. This is back in September after police say somebody set the street on fire. This is Ironton Street. Detectives say surveillance video shows Gray pouring gasoline on the road. This was just feet away from a school bus and then fleeing the scene. While firefighters began putting out those flames, others on the scene chased after the suspect, but Gray was able to make it to his car and he took off before firefighters could even stop him. Investigators, though, they say it did not stop there. They believe he started up to 8 fires on Indy's southwest side in the months after that. Surveillance video capturing an individual matching the same description, setting fires at both vacant and occupied houses. Luckily, nobody was hurt, but the fires did cause about $100,000 in damage. Today at 10 a.m., investigators will be providing an update on the case and the charges that Gray faces. We also expect a little more photos and some more surveillance video to be released. Of course, we're going to be there and we're going to have an update for you at noon. Angela?
All right, Alexa, thank you. We'll keep on top of that. New information now about this small explosion that damaged a car that was driving through Speedway on Friday. Indianapolis police say they've arrested these two men now, 56-year-old Wayne Turner and 21-year-old Isaac Turner in the case. Wayne faces charges of manufacturing and possession of a destructive device. Isaac is charged with possession and criminal mischief. Police say a woman was driving on 16th Street near Brickyard Crossing when something exploded under that railroad bridge. There was minor damage to her car and the lights on the bridge ended up breaking. We're working to find out exactly what exploded. Firefighters say a cigarette started a deadly apartment fire in Muncie. 62-year-old Joanne David died in that, and officials are now saying that fire was at the Wilson School Apartments on West 13th Street. It caused extensive damage before the apartment's sprinkler system kicked in and extinguished the flames. Right now, the Department of Natural Resources is searching for whoever shot and killed a bald eagle. Just a quick warning, some of these photos are a little difficult to look at. The eagle was found alive south of the White River near Dixie Road in Lawrence County, but officials say it later died from its injuries. Officials are now offering a reward in the case, saying they need information. If a person is convicted of this federal crime, by the way, they could face up to 2 years in prison and up to $250,000 in fines. Your time now, 5:35. A local charity is chipping in after a group home caught fire. You may remember this scene. The charity A Little Love has been collecting donations to give to the Safe Haven group home. It cares for women with mental illnesses. Last July, a fire spread and damaged the home, forcing 10 women to move to temporary housing. A Little Love presented their donations over the weekend.
It's an amazing feeling, just helping out the ladies and putting a smile on their face. It feels good. It's what the holiday season is about.
It feels good to know that it's people out there that cares about other people.
Safe Haven's owner says so many people in the community have offered to help rebuild. Starting today, the Lawrence Police Department will be working 100% out of its new headquarters. The $12 million building is going to allow for the entire department to work in the same location. For the past decade, the Lawrence Police Department has shared a space in the city's government center. They had that ribbon cutting last month. Today, IPS is going to launch its winter break free meal program. This is an important story for those of you that need it. Students are going to get free meals during their time away from school, thanks to the district's food service team. They'll have breakfast and lunches at nearly 15 school locations today through January 3rd. If you need information, we have a list of dates and times at cbs4indy.com. A Fishers boy donated a jar full of money to the Fishers Canine Unit. The boy named Evan made the donation after he learned of Harley's passing. Harley's handler, Officer Koopman, heard about Evan's generous donation and invited him back to the police department to thank him in person. Officer Koopman also gave Evan a special tour of the department. Love efforts like that. The Black Acre Brewery and Black Sheep Gifts in Irvington are closed after a fire there over the weekend. The Black Acre was able to open its beer garden as it repairs the damage to the brewery itself. Now, this Black Sheep location, it also opened a pop-up shop just down the street.
I mean, it's been kind of moving to see all the people coming out supporting, and it seems like there's quite a few people out tonight.
Fire officials are trying to pinpoint the cause of the fire. They believe it started in the brewery and then spread to the attic. Hope they can repair and rebuild soon. This week, the iconic Ike and Jonesie's bar will have its final last call. A lot of you upset about this. Ike and Jonesie's has called the corner on West Jackson Place home since 1984. Through the decades, the owner has seen the city change a lot. From the creation of Circle Center Mall, Indy hosting the Super Bowl, it's been a popular spot to pregame, watch the Colts play, or even swing by afterward.
Every home game, we're here before and after the game.
It's a fun damn place downtown. That was our motto from the beginning, and we've kept with it.
The owner said he was bought out of his lease, that a developer plans to build a hotel there instead. Just days after it shuts down, customers will have the chance to take home their own piece of Ike's. All of the bar's funky decor will be auctioned off next Friday. Well, right now, officials are looking for serial purse snatchers wanted in at least 20 incidents.
It was a life-threatening situation, and it was a scary situation for her, for sure.
We'll show you the surveillance video, and it shows just how brazen the thieves have now become. And you need to be careful if you're buying candles for your loved ones this holiday season. We'll show you why Hallmark is recalling some of its products.
And keeping an eye on radar, going to be a couple of days before we see this become very active though. Also watching those temperatures, which are set to stay above average all the way through the holiday. I'll show you your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecast in just a few minutes.
We're following breaking news right now. Our crew just got to this scene, an apartment fire on Indy's south side. This is on Red Oak Court near Shelby Street and County Line Road, and it looks like this is at the Beach Mill Apartments. Again, our photojournalist just arrived at that scene. We're working to get details, but you can see right in the center of your screen a whole lot of damage to what I believe is a second floor unit. We're going to check back in with this situation in just a few minutes, hoping everyone is okay there. For your money this morning, Hallmark now recalling a line of its scented candles over fire and laceration concerns. Listen to this one. It involves more than 4,000 of the balsam soy blend jar candles. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says when the candles are lit, the glass jar can break, and that is causing possible cuts and fire hazards. Hallmark has gotten 6 reports of the glass jar breaking so far, resulting in fire damage to nearby items. If you have one of those candles laying around, maybe you're planning to gift them. Stop using them immediately and return the item to the store where you purchased it for a full refund and a $10 Hallmark Gold Crown gift card. Well, Motorola is now delaying the reboot of its legendary Razr flip phone. A lot of people excited about this thing. The Razr foldable smartphone was supposed to be available for pre-order the day after Christmas and in stores on January 9th. But this morning, Motorola says they've had a higher than expected demand and a limited supply. The company hasn't said when the $1,500 phone is going to go on sale, but reportedly added it's not expecting a significant change. The Razr came out in 2004. We all had one of those, and went on to become the best-selling phone of all time in the U.S. That is, of course, until the iPhone came along. Well, Aldi's is working with food poverty charities this morning to supply people with free food this Christmas Eve. Aldi said it would share unsold food with food banks to help the needy this holiday season. The German discount store will hand out all of its unsold fresh food to charities after the stores close on Christmas Eve. Aldi expects to donate about 20 crates of food from each store. I think that's great. I think a lot of other stores should do that as well.
I agree.
All right, let's talk about those temperatures. We're going to be above average today.
We will, and also keeping an eye on radar because look at how quiet this is. High pressure blocking out any wet weather for us. All of the rain staying well off to the south. That's actually going to push east into the ocean, so not going to be a problem for very long for those southeastern states, although still quite widespread rain for this morning. Live Guardian radar showing just how quiet we are. Satellite showing a few clouds pushing in. Those are mainly going to be upper level. Shouldn't be too much of an issue and really should just give us a pretty sunrise in about 2 hours. Future view, I'm going to run you through the rest of the week because we have hardly anything going on at all. Not expecting any wet weather here until we get to Friday night, and then Saturday and Sunday will turn much more active. That's when we're expecting the rain and possibly a mix to get here. Future view does show that we stay mostly sunny for today. Could see a couple of clouds building in this afternoon and overnight. Mainly tonight we're looking for some patchy fog. That'll be our main issue. Kind of a creepy looking cloud pattern there actually. Current temperature is sitting at 27 degrees in Fishers, 28 in Greenfield, 30 right now in Mooresville, 29 in Columbus, and 30 right now in Bloomington. That high is forecast to be way above the average today. We should actually hit 53 degrees. We should be in the 30s this time of the year. So a huge difference from this time last week. Really looking quite nice, very comfortable actually. And then tonight's low only drops down to 32, which we should be down in the 20s overnight this time of the year. So really quite comfortable, all things considered. Still cold enough. You'll certainly want your coat though if you are heading out this evening. Patchy fog tonight and into tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon we do it again, 53 degrees. Records for this time of the year were mainly in the 60s. So it doesn't look like we're going to break any daily high records, but certainly going to be quite nice for this far into December. And only a little bit of a breeze that's out of the south, only about 5 miles an hour here for the next couple of days. So really not going to have a huge wind chill factor either. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. There's your Christmas Eve, 53 degrees there and mostly sunny. Partly to mostly sunny on Christmas Day, high of 56, so pretty nice. And then Thursday, still a high of 55, very mild for the season, 52 on Friday. It'll be Friday night that we do start to track some rain pushing in, and then rain and wind for the weekend. Rachel?
All right, thanks, Star. So right now we do have some activity here. This is southbound I-65. You can see that left lane is blocked there. This is just south of State Road 44 near Franklin. So you can see it looks like 2 vehicles appear to be involved there at least. Of course, there is at least 1 emergency vehicle on scene there. So we're down to 1 lane there. Fortunately, though, at this point, it's still pretty early here. We're still a little over 10 minutes away from the 6 o'clock hour. So volume is still pretty low. So we're not seeing any backups in that area. Pulling it a little closer there on the map, you can see still seeing green on those speed sensors there. Also taking a look here, we did have that earlier fire there that's still active there at Red Oak Court, that just west of US 31. Now it looks like we have another fire called in. This time we're looking at McFarland Road, this one just south of stop 11 there. And other than that, things are moving well. This is a look up in Boone County, I-65 there. Right near Whitestown Parkway, you can see everything is still pretty calm. And if you are heading out the door right now, here's a quick look at your drive times. Expect about a 6-minute drive on I-65 as you're heading northbound there from Southport Road to the North Split. And
let's go to your stories making headlines across the nation now. First up in Minnesota, this woman, she was walking from a Christmas party with her husband when they say all of a sudden a dark colored SUV pulled up behind them and someone snatched her purse.
It was scary. I was kind of just more in shock with what happened.
St. Paul police confirm there have been at least 20 similar purse snatchings around the city. One of those we actually showed you last week, this video here. It shows a car pulling up behind this woman who was simply putting groceries in the trunk of her car. A man got out, grabbed her purse. The woman's arm, though, got caught in the purse straps, and she ended up dragged 75 yards. New York police have arrested a man they say set several fires inside a Yeshiva University dormitory, and all of this happened when students were asleep inside. The fire department released surveillance video. Look here, it shows a man kicking that glass door. 33-year-old Peter Wyand is now charged with arson, burglary with criminal intent, and reckless endangerment of property. Police say, of all things, he lit a Hanukkah menorah and set 3 different fires with it. Caught on camera in California, a Coast Guard helicopter airlifting a surfer that was bitten by a shark. Officials say this shark bit the 37-year-old man on the right thigh. Rescuers placed a tourniquet on the man's leg, and at last check, he was listed as stable. And finally, he's a mean one, Mr. Beckham. Cleveland Browns wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. stepped onto the field Sunday with something a little interesting on his feet, custom-made green furry cleats. They resembled a well-known Dr. Seuss character. Of course, we're talking about the Grinch. The Browns were playing the Baltimore Ravens. Unfortunately, the Browns weren't able to steal a win. What's new? They lost 31-15. Some say maybe Beckham's shoes were just 2 sizes too small. Yeah, I think we've all lost hope for the Browns this year. In your Colts Blue Zone now, the losing streak is over here at home. The Colts dominated Carolina in their final home game of the season, and they set some records doing it. Here's Chris Widlick.
Put a full game together. Let's start the clock. The Colts dominating the skidding Carolina Panthers from the start and set some standards getting it done. Marlon Mack rushed for 95 yards and this second quarter touchdown. He topped the 1,000 mark on the season despite missing 2 games with an injury. The defense didn't give up a TD, and the special teams, so special on this day. Return man Nyheim Hines, who got the job only because Chester Rogers is hurt, made it count. 84 yards for a score in the first quarter, and this 71-yarder in the fourth. He's the first player in Colts history to take 2 kicks back for scores on the same game. Colts roll 38-6.
When I have to make 1 or 2 guys miss, that's really not really me. That's the rest of the guys on the team. I had to make, on both returns, I think I had to make 1 or 2 guys miss, and everybody else was blocked. So really, that's really the return guys. It's not really me. So really, honestly, I wish I could bring them all up here for me, but those are guys who really made it happen.
They deserve it. The Colts season finale now in Jacksonville next Sunday has been flexed to a new time, now kicking at 4:25 right here on CBS 4. That's Sports in 60. I'm Chris Widlick.
Chris, thank you. This morning, Santa Claus is busier than ever, but here in the Hoosier State, patients at Riley Hospital get special gifts year-round.
A couple of years ago, someone came running through the office and said, "There's an emergency." I thought, okay, we're going to take care of this. We are out of Uno cards. Oh, okay, it's a different kind of emergency.
Such a cool room. CBS 4 has an exclusive look inside the Riley Guild Cheer Toy Room, how you can help sick kids smile this holiday season. Also, green slime found oozing onto this highway in Detroit. So gross. What was behind the toxic mess? Let's check back in with that breaking news now on Indy's South Side. Crews still working on this apartment fire near Shelby Street and County Line Road. It looks like this is at the Beach Mill Apartments. You can see right there in the center of your screen that second floor unit just absolutely destroyed. You're seeing inside to the residents now. Getting new information, the fire started again in that upstairs unit and then made its way to the outside of the structure. It's unclear if people were home at the time, but we are told no one was hurt. All right, he's under a time crunch right now. Santa's workshop full of toys. The workers finishing up some of their last-minute details. But here in central Indiana, there is a toy shop of its own kind at Riley Hospital for Children. I got an exclusive look inside the Riley Guild Cheer Toy Room. Take a look.
It's a critical time inside Riley's Cheer Guild Toy Room. These volunteers, more like elves, sorting and organizing hundreds of donated items.
It really makes Christmas.
But their effort doesn't stop after the holidays.
I still have to fight back the tears.
This toy room looks like Santa's workshop year-round.
That toy is not just a toy. These items are used to help teach kids about what's happening to them while they're here at the hospital.
Right now,
hey there, Brianna!
Hundreds of kids like 6-year-old Brianna are at Riley Hospital receiving treatment.
This is an animal Shopkins. Have you ever seen these before?
Some for life-threatening illnesses.
Do you have big, strong muscles?
For them, these toys feel like a lifeline.
A couple of years ago, someone came running through the office and said, "There's an emergency." I thought, okay, we're going to take care of this. We are out of Uno cards. Oh, okay, it's a different kind of emergency.
The toys aren't just used for play.
Have you ever done this one before?
As a distraction. But Child Life specialists use these donated items to teach kids about the diseases they're fighting and the procedures they'll have to endure.
Pretty scary procedures, and so I come in there, I bring maybe their favorite Paw Patrol toy and talk to them about it.
Child Life specialists visit this toy room every day, skipping the naughty or nice list and shopping here for what they think their patients need most.
We couldn't really do our job without it.
Families like the Garners are desperate to be home for the holidays, but thankful for the Hoosier hospitality.
When they come in and they make them feel special, giving them, stuff that really, we wouldn't be able to afford because of being off, and it's awesome.
They are celebrating the true meaning of Christmas and planning to pay it forward the minute they can.
Once she's done and out of here, we plan on donating also because we know the good mental aspects that can come out of it.
And those kids able to keep going because they have those small but really special moments to look forward to, like the toys. For perspective, Riley gave out more than 200,000 toys last year alone, and they're constantly using social media, by the way, to restock some of their most requested items. The most recent, a Play-Doh shortage. So here's what they're looking for right now. Toys specifically for babies and toddlers under the age of 3. Die-cast cars, art packs, journals, Legos, a lot of Legos, board games, and puzzles. If you'd like to donate, I'll post a link on my social media and then also online at cbs4indy.com. 5:57 and pushing toward that 6 o'clock hour. It's a partnership that's looking to end hunger here in the Hoosier State. We're going to show you now how food that normally gets thrown out is ending up in the hands of people that need it the most. And stay close because prosecutors are looking to file some new charges against a Lafayette couple accused of abandoning their adopted daughter. What the new charges could mean for that couple. 2 kids lost their mom in a hit-and-run crash just days before Christmas. The families plea this morning to find the person responsible.
And coming up on 5:58, we're going to have a cold start to the morning. Many of us pretty close to that freezing line, so you'll still want your winter coats and your gloves as you're heading out the door. Once we make it to this afternoon, though, back above average. We're going to make it into the mid to lower 50s, so very comfortable for the season, but still chilly enough for a jacket. I'll walk you through the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecasts coming up in a few minutes.
from CBS 4, this is your News Now.
The man officials say set up to 20 fires in the Wayne Township area is in jail this morning. New information set to be released today. 2 kids left without their mom now just days before Christmas. This after a hit-and-run crash in Indianapolis.
Just come forward so the family can rest at ease. Just come forward.
That family is now determined to find the driver responsible. And the Colts snapped their losing streak, pulling out a win against the Panthers. Big moments from the field. That's coming up in our 6 o'clock hour.